Hey, what's good, fam? It's your boy, Big C, back with another video. I pray that you guys are all doing good, man, and are blessed. Hey, I want to talk to you guys today on a real topic, man, and this is just getting real with yourself, man. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you all in?
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to make sacrifices in order to get free and recover from your addiction? I ask this question because I go back many times when I thought I was really ready, but there was just some things now that I look back at it, and the reason why I went back out and used was because I really wasn't ready. There were some things I didn't want to do. And so I come today, and to keep it real with you and to keep it a buck, I want you to ask yourself, because only you going to know this answer. Are you all in? Are you ready to sacrifice? Are you really ready to do whatever it takes? You ain't got to answer now. Think about it. Because the truth of the matter, when it comes to getting sober and recovering, you have to make sacrifices. What if you live in a neighborhood where drugs are all around you? Next door, down the hall, down the street, in the alley, and here you are trapped in addiction and you're trying to recover. What if you have to maybe get out of that environment? And by that I mean, and I go back to my situation, a lot of times I went to outreach ministries where they were church ministries, outreach street ministries, but they would house you there, and they would house you. It wasn't no going home at night. It wasn't no going to the stores by yourself. It was pretty much being in this outreach ministry. And what it was designed to do was to protect me from the environment. So I needed to get away from an environment. But a lot of times I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to be locked in somewhere. And I ask you, are you all in if you have to do that? Because the truth of the matter is you may have to give up that job. Is that job really doing it? If you happen to hold on to a job, even if you have a job in addiction, whoa, good job. But ask yourself this, and this is a real reality check. Is the job doing you any good right now? Are you doing anything productive with the money? Or is this job just a means for you to get high every week? And are you willing to let it go? Go check into a facility that keeps you away from society for a season. What if you got an apartment, and God knows I had one, became a trap house? The dope dealers was in there selling, throwing me dope. People was coming by, getting high. And that was my way of getting high, night and day. Yeah, come on in. I had rooms in the back if you wanted female company. I had all of that. And I remember having to go into a facility. And one of the things was I was going to have to give up this apartment. I was barely keeping up with the apartment. It just so happened to be real cheap and real grimy and nasty. But it was cheap, and I was able to maintain it for a while. But when it came down to the question of, are you really ready to get serious and go somewhere? I wasn't. And I come to tell you guys, maybe you might have to be away from family for a season. Maybe you have to go to a rehab that's out of state or across town. I know here in Indiana, they got some rehabs that take you out to the woods and you live in cabins and you do that for a season. It's designed to get you out of the environment. And you have to ask yourself, if these situations arise, am I willing? Because one thing I know, looking back at it, I thought I was tired, but it was just some things I didn't want to give up. There were some sacrifices I didn't want to make. And really in the back of that, in my mind, that was the disease. That was the spirit. That was the addiction. Whatever you want to label it. That was it talking. Nah. So it would keep me out there in that cycle, knowing I needed to get out of this environment because it's all around me. How am I going to do this when it's right next door? And so you may have to make decisions. You may have to make sacrifices. But the purpose of this video is to get real, get downright honest with yourself and ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to maybe have to let somebody keep your kids for a season as you go away? And the thing about it is, see, this is being humble. This is having humility in addiction. When you can do these things and not try to think about, oh, my bills got to be paid. Well, I ain't paying the bills now. So let's stop that, Carlton. You ain't taking care of not one thing right now. So don't even come here with that. Talking about I need to work so I can pay my bills. No, you need to work because you want to get high. That's where I was. And I would tell myself anytime I was faced with a decision to make sacrifices, in my mind, I would come up with excuses. Now I feel like I want to be responsible. Now I want to, keep the job. So I need a job because things cost. You ain't doing nothing with it, Carlton. Your job is enabling you to get high. I'm not speaking from my experience, guys, but I'm asking you to make this personal. Ask yourself these questions. Are you really willing to give up the kids for a season? Are you willing to go out of town? Are you willing to go to camps in the woods for recovery? Are you willing and ready to go maybe into outreach ministries? Yeah, people have their thoughts about outreach ministry, but they're designed, and I can't speak for all of them, but for those that are working for the purpose of God, they're designed to protect you from the environment for a season. And while you're in these places, see, this is why you got to have a relationship with God. While you're in these places, you're trusting God to make a way for whenever you do come out of these places, you don't have to go back into the same environment. This is where God steps in and do for you what you can't do for yourself. But we got to be willing to make the sacrifice. And so I ask you, because, man, this is for real. And this is what kept me. Had I really just buckled down maybe the first one or two times and said, no, whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. Man, that might have saved me years of heartache, years of pain. I don't know. But I would always make an excuse. I don't need nobody watching over me night and day. Yes, I did. Because I was helpless, man. And that was the addiction talking to me. Nah, bro, you need a job. How you gonna eat? I ain't eating now. I'm eating crack. That's what I'm eating. Well, you got to pay your bills. Man, these bills, everything's about to be cut off anyway. So what are you talking about, Carlton? This is where, you got to buckle down, man. And I told you, I'm going to keep it a buck with you, man. You got to buckle down and say, hey, am I really willing to do whatever it takes? Am I willing to go to any lengths to be free? And some may be, and some may be not. And that's okay. It's not okay. But I was there too. But let me tell you something. If you can sit down and get honest with yourself and realize where your life is and realize and get some humility and say, yeah, I need to do and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I do not care anymore. See, it's at that point, you're releasing everything to God. And who better can construct your life from that point than God? But sometimes we get in his way because we're thinking. We're letting the addiction feed our reactions of what we want to do and what we think we can't do and what we won't do. And so we stay out there in this cycle until one day, if the streets ain't caught up with you and killed you, one day things get so bad. They get so bad that you get to that point. I don't have a choice anymore. I'm willing. And it don't have to get that extreme. You can stop this now. You don't have to let the bottom fall out of your life before you become willing to make sacrifices. A lot of us do. And it's only by the grace of God. When I tell y'all, it's only by the grace of God that I sit here today. Man, I was in so many dangerous situations that, truth be told, I should not be here. I should not be alive. Some of the stuff I was doing out there and the environments and the dangerous situations I was putting myself in at 3:00 in the morning, dark back alleys, tweaked out, all in the name of one more, coming up, not knowing who's going to rob you, knowing you got money because you've been coming all day, and you're going and you steady buying dope, but now you get to the point, man, somebody might rob me. I've been coming, it's crazy. But guys, you got to ask yourself, are you willing? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? And only you can answer that question. But it's a question you have to ask yourself and you have to answer. But my advice to you, man, is to get humble and be willing to do whatever it takes. If you have to give up the job, if you have to give up the apartment to go somewhere and get recover, if you have to give up the kids for a while, if you have to be separated from loved ones for a while, be willing to do it. Because these are the things and the decisions that we have to make, and nobody can make them for us. But if we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, we'll get some humility and we'll say, I'm willing to do and sacrifice whatever it takes because I am tired. Amen, guys. So, hey, but the flip side of this stuff, man, is freedom. You got to go through some things. You got to go through some uncomfortable times to get to the freedom. You got to be willing to do stuff you don't quite want to do in order to get to the side, in order to grab the freedom that's at the end of this thing. You do what you can do, and you trust God to do for you what you can't do. But you got to be responsible for what you can do. And trust me, God will make ways for you. Amen. So, hey, guys, I pray that this has blessed you. Guys, stay encouraged. It's not over. As long as you got breath in your body. I don't care if you just fell last night. It's Saturday. Some people might have gotten high last night. Might be getting high right now. Might be feeling utterly in despair, shame, and guilt. Been there, done it. But let me tell you this, and I'm going to let you go. It can change. It will change if you do what's necessary and trust God to do for you what you can't do. Amen. So, hey, guys, have a blessed one, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay motivated, my friends. We winning in 2023. God bless you all. I'll see y'all on the next one.